Hey everyone, welcome back to the Step Out and Thrive podcast with me, Bethany Boring. And I'm so excited that you're here today. And you know what? I just realized I had never really first addressed that I am now using a different name, which is Bethany Joy. And I wanted to announce just really quick before we get started today what the deal with that is. Because some of you guys are like, okay, wait, you had the name Bethany Boring and now it's Bethany Joy. And what happened and why did the name change? Okay. Technically, I'm still legally Bethany Boring. Nothing's changed. No, I have not gotten married. So many people have asked me so many crazy questions. But what I decided to do, especially because I'm speaking and I've got my book out now, I've been told by several people that in order to really ease the way into some great speaking opportunities or book author opportunities or connection opportunities, the name Bethany Joy really captures what I enjoy doing, which is spreading joy and talking about what joy is, the experience of knowing that people and God and yourself, you are glad to be with someone no matter what. That is really joy. It's the experience of knowing that. And so that is why I changed my last name, mainly just for speaking purposes, author purposes. So Bethany Joy is going to be my official speaker name. And I wanted to get that announcement officially out there because I'm sure I'm still in this transition phase. I'm sure I'll still refer to myself once in a while by my legal name, which is Bethany Boring. So if you all get confused, just join me. I'm in transition as well. So I thought I'd just be open and share that with you all. So again, welcome to the Step Out and Thrive podcast with me, Bethany Joy. And if you're here, well, let's make sure that you're in the right place. The Step Out and Thrive podcast is really for anyone who wants to care well for other people. And a lot of times when we're caring well for other people, whether counselors, pastoral care leaders, parents, teachers, regardless of what role that is, a lot of times we fail to really care well for ourselves. And when we dry up, we can't care well for others. It's just like when you're on an airplane and they say the oxygen mask will fall, but air may be flowing even though that bag may not inflate. Y'all, I've been on an airplane like way too many times. But anyway, they say make sure that you put your own oxygen mask on first before helping a child. Same thing happens even though we've been called right, into ministry, into helping people, into being that person that people want to rely on. Even though we've been called to that, it does not mean that we have to sacrifice the oxygen that we need in order to serve well. And so that's what we do here on the Step Out and Thrive podcast. Obviously, everything is about moving forward and how God is leading and doing some crazy, amazing things with God. I'm starting a new series today. And it's about my favorite story in the Bible about Jesus walking on the water with Peter. And if you go to Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 through 33, you'll find that story. But I wanted to take time, and some of you guys are like, oh no, I think I know what's coming. She's going to break the story apart. Yes, I am. I'm going to break the story apart into a lot smaller pieces, but also allows us to just savor each moment here because there's so much here. And because it's my favorite story, I think I've camped out on so many different parts of it, but it really embodies the essence of what I want to capture with Step Out and Thrive. So with that being said, I want to start just a little bit with the story today, pull out a part of it, tell a little bit about my story, and then I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your story about it. So Matthew chapter 14, verses 22, when it starts, the very first thing that it talks about is Jesus was by himself on the mountain. Jesus was by himself on the hillside. And then he had told the disciples to go on by themselves onto the sea. But he was praying by himself. He sent them. He knew what was going to happen. Jesus wasn't like, oh no, there's a storm. Like he knew what was going to happen, but he sent them anyway. One of the hardest things that I have walked through as a mom is letting go. My boys are getting older. They're becoming young men. And I am recently walking through this transition period where I'm starting to hand them off more responsibility. More freedom, but also more responsibility. it's hard to let them go. It's hard to realize as a mom that I never really had control over who they got to date. Honestly, I want that control, but I can't be with them at school. I can't be with them at all these different places. I really can't even control who they're friends with. I can control who comes over to the house, but I cannot control who they're friends with. And in fact, I found this out. The more I let go, the more they come talk to me about several of these things, because they know that I'm not going to try to control it or manipulate it. They know that instead I'm a safe person and I'm willing to walk with. As leaders, we are called to walk with. When we actually start trying to take control over things that aren't ours to control, that's when it starts to look like manipulation. That's when things start to get unhealthy. That's when boundaries get crossed in so many different ways. So that is the first point today, is to simply let go. Now, that's easier said than done. And maybe you're out there going, oh man, Bethany, I know how that feels. I am a parent right now, and I'm walking this out with my kids, and how do I let go? Or maybe you're a leader, and maybe you've had a tight grasp on things, but now you're just like, okay, I really need to trust God. I need to let my staff go and explore, and they don't need me to hold their hand every step of the way. I can have freedom in trusting that they're exactly where they're supposed to be. But how do you do that? Well, one thing is, and I'm learning, is I'm allowing myself to make my desires and my ambitions and my goals known. For instance, one thing that I'm One thing that I'm walking with my guys out with right now is school. They're older. I've got a freshman, I've got a junior in high school, and then I've got a sixth grader. So the sixth grader has a little bit less responsibility than the freshman, and the freshman has a little less responsibility than the junior. The junior right now, I'm walking with him, I'm saying, look, dude, the school stuff, that's on you now. I am willing to help as much as you want me to be involved. I am right here. I would love to learn about what you're doing in classes. I would love actually to be in the email chain with your teachers. But the truth is, you've got to learn how to communicate. You've got to learn how to stand on your own 2 feet. You've got to learn how to use a calendar. You've got to learn when things are due. That is your responsibility. That's not mine. And so what I'm learning to do is going, okay, when I give him that freedom and I give him that responsibility, he knows what I expect. He knows what his grades need to be before consequences take root. But I don't have to control. I don't have to sit there and go, wow, you're gaming right now instead of doing your homework. Do you have your homework done? Do you have it turned in? Do you know it's due tomorrow? I don't have to do that with him anymore because that's not my role. My role has switched to one that just walks with. I do not have to show him how because he knows how. Instead, I trust that he knows how, and I let him go with the own consequences that he finds. Now, is this easy? No. No, it's not. And in leadership, it's not easy either. It is hard. It's part of the transition process. And one thing I've shared with my guys is like, I've never raised teenagers before. Y'all get to be my first crack at this. I'm going to make mistakes. We're all trying to figure this out together. At the same time, there's been some times that I'll have to go back and review. Okay, that did not work out at all. My bad, your bad, whatever. We all messed up. Let's take ownership of it and let's try this again and have grace and peace for ourselves. Nobody's going to get it right. And really, there's a lot more credit when we actually stop and learn from our experiences. So there was a lot of stuff in today's, and we could go so much deeper to this. And you guys, we just started the story. There's still a lot more. So I told you, this story is so rich in amazing leadership concepts. So don't miss a week. We are going to keep on breaking this apart. I want this to be bite-sized chunks for you to just chew on and savor during the week. So my question for you this week is, what part do you need to let go of in your role right now? Whether it's parent role, whether it's a leader role, whether it's a small group role, whatever role it is that you want to say that you are in control of something in your life, What area do you want to give over to God? What area are you clinging so hard to that you feel like if you let go, it'll chip away at your identity, or chip away at your worth, or chip away at your value? It's hard to think about, isn't it? Maybe even give Jesus some time to speak to you about that. And as always, I'm walking with you. And if you would love an interactive appreciation guide, and this really helps you when you're wrestling with some of these tough topics that we might be talking about over the next couple weeks. They're fun topics, but they can be tough topics. It's always great to feel that place where you feel grounded, and a place where you can start almost like a safety net, right? Before we start doing this hard work. You can pick up that workbook anytime for free over at my main website, which is thrivewithbethany.com. And you can pick up that workbook and you can walk through some of that process that can help you feel grounded before you start doing some of this really amazing work. You can also check out links and current groups and current offerings at bethanyjoy.fyi. And as always, dare to do more than just survive. Step out, let go, and thrive. Go chase beauty. I'll see you guys back here next week. Bye.